I'm talking to Lewis Kirkaldie of Cinegy.
Hi.
Lewis, great to see you.
You too, Dick.
IBC's coming up, so what are the technology trends we're going to be talking about there?
So, my prediction for IBC is it's going to be one of those shows where we go into a bit of a consolidation cycle. I think there's been a huge amount of stuff happening to the industry over the last few years, 4K becoming real, HDR, IP, and I think, and I'm hoping that the industry starts to take a moment to take a breath and start trying to fix these things up and get them into like large-scale deployments. We're seeing customers that are looking to say, cool, well, this is all great, I believe it, it's the answer, let's put 200 of them out, which is a very different thing to let's try a prototype or a pilot of something. So my prediction for IBC is there won't be any one new big thing where I go, wow, look at this whole new thing to rush towards. I think the industry is really going to be looking much more closely at how do we do this at scale, reliably, accurately, cost-effectively. So I'm hoping there's not some big new thing to surprise me.
You've been talking about consolidation, and one of the things that Cinegy has been very vocal about as a business is that the future is all IP and, as you used to say, SDI must die. Where are we on that transition?
Yeah, I think the industry got a little bit sidetracked by the idea that somebody needs to make a thing to replace SDI. And what we're actually seeing shake out, especially over the last year, is that customers aren't actually looking or looking to implement one replacement technology. They're looking to pick an appropriate technology to match what they're doing. So that could be highly compressed transport streams, particularly in cloud scenarios. It could be things like NDI, which is a really powerful technology that's led by New Tech and as the inventors and masters of it. And that's taken a big amount of uptick because it's simple to deploy, does what people need quickly and easily and without very complicated network setups. And then you've got the 2022-6, 2110, which is a lot more that's much more of the, how can we take SDI and replace it with a thing? So I think the market's shaking that one out right now. And at Cinegy, what we've done is we're not just sitting on a fence, we've built a small sofa on a fence and just enabled all of these technologies. So you can have whatever's necessary to make this work. You know, traditional SDI, 2022-06, NDI, it's all in there. Because we're like, yeah, that is a complicated question. Let's not be forced to pick a side. Yeah, we'll make our fence bench nice and comfortable.
So you see a future where 2022-6, 2110, NDI and maybe some others all coexist?
Well, they serve different requirements. So, for example, anyone that's looking to try and get a stream up to the cloud, if they're doing some live matches, things like that, 2110 is the wrong choice for that. It's just too big. And there's technology that services that requirement already. People aren't putting uncompressed on satellites. So why would we go backwards and start doing that with that technology there? So I think the market is starting to look at this more carefully and it will hold on. We don't need to take that one thing that everyone used for SDI. We can, it's a bit more complicated. We've got to think a bit more about what's our requirements and match them. But there's actual cost savings to be made at that point. If you can actually find the appropriate tool for the job, instead of just going, yeah, I've just got this giant hammer and yeah, it's a screw, but if I hit it harder, it's going in. I think that's what's happening right now. So SDI isn't being replaced by a specific IP technology. We're seeing people saying, well, I need this for this job, I need this for this job, I need this for this job, because sometimes you have to pay for bandwidth. And if you're paying by the gigabyte, the last thing you want to be doing is putting too much through it.
Yeah. So visitors to IBC are going to turn up at the Cinegy booth. They're going to be looking at solutions which deliver the best transport and the best storage for the application.
Yeah, I mean, for some customers, they've decided they want to go all in 2110 to replace a whole plant. Then they're doing a site move maybe. We're not here to judge them for that. We're here to take their money. So you know, that can be an appropriate technology for that customer in that case. And that's brilliant. But they might find that they've then got some people coming into their studio and they've bought a load of NDI kit. They can't just say, well, you can't show up. What they've got to do is say, well, actually, we need a way to actually cross-convert between these things. They might say, actually, we need to do some extra things. We've got the World Cup on at the minute. We've got some customers running some World Cup things in the cloud. If they only had a choice of 2110 to get to the cloud, the bills from Amazon at the end of the World Cup would put them out of business. So instead, they're like, well, actually, let's send a 6 meg HEVC stream to the cloud because, hey, I'm saving money by the bucket loads there. So yeah, I think that's where IBC might well show people being a little bit more pragmatic, not with what's the biggest hyped label I can grab with both hands today. It's going to be, these are my business requirements. I understand what a move to IP can now bring. The smart customers and smart broadcasters are seeing that actually if a customer goes an inefficient route, they can then undercut them by going a more efficient, more appropriate route and say, I can offer you that contract, Mr. Broadcaster, for X price because I'm efficient. And that's where the consolidation's going to continue here, I think. That's my prediction.
Do we see Cinegy as a solutions company or a product company?
Well, there's a question. I think we're finding ourselves, it's unavoidable to be a bit of both. So we've always tried to say we just do software, don't ask us about hardware, don't ask us to act as a systems integrator. But what we have found, for example, with the cloud, we spent years perfecting our stuff working in the cloud. We fell down some dark black holes and spent months down there going, why is it broken? What are we doing wrong? How are we architecting this wrong? And we're in a position now where we can actually say to our customers when they fall down those same holes, like, take our hand, the path out is this way. So we're actually finding that depending upon the customer, we've got some customers that are like, we just need your products to snap in, we've got the solution. We've got other customers that are saying, we've got this problem, can you just tell us all of it? Just run it in the cloud for us, we'll come and do a few days of professional services for them to design their cloud and say, yeah, do this, this and this, because then you'll find rolling out updates is easier, securing things are easier, all these things that aren't necessarily even Cinegy problems, but are part of that problem sphere. So the change that's happening internally at Cinegy and has been happening for a while is actually being able to address our customers' complete needs rather than just being la 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 software.
Terrific. Anything new from Cinegy and
IBC? Always new software. So Air 12 has shipped recently. Multiviewer 14 shipped 2 days ago. That's the one that's now got shipping, release quality, NDI inputs. We'll have Convert 12, which has also got NDI and more HDR enhancements. That'll be out in a couple of weeks in time for IBC. There's always, that's the thing about it's a software train that just keeps running. And then the other thing we'll be doing is trying to actually make it easier for customers to pick up professional services from us, pick off a menu of like, how can we help you today? We'd love you, really, we would love you to just buy a product, read all the manuals we have online, all the posts we put, self-serve if you can, but actually for a lot of customers, even if they can self-serve, they might be, I don't want to spend 2 months learning the best way to do all this stuff, can you come and tell us in 2 days? So we'll be trying to launch that a little bit more for customers. And then because it turns out that the answer to everything is not the cloud, even if you desperately want to be like, I don't even care what the question is, the answer is the cloud, which we've seen a lot of. There is still a space when people are like, no, I need to put something on my premise. I need something in that cupboard still. So we partner with Zendata to produce the Cinegy Platform One appliance. So when you do realize the cloud isn't populated wholly by unicorns, you can still say, look, I've got a practical need. So the slightly more prosaic thing that's still, we think, incredibly important is we've got this appliance that doubles up, is all the hardware you need for an LTO library with storage, but there's so much capacity and service these days. We've worked with Zendata to say actually they can co-host all the Cinegy MAM software on that server platform, and so it's a really easy solution for the customer to pick up. Then you say, I want one of them, and then we'll key in the serial numbers to light up the Cinegy software. And in terms of the naught to running, it's a really short time. Getting close to what it could be like with the cloud. I mean, we just got the shipping, but getting yourself a MAM up and running and working, it starts to become a really short turnaround, which is really increasingly important to customers. No one can deal with the 6-month project time cycles that the industry used to have, of like head scratching and proof of concepts, and nightmare.
Sounds as though you're very much leading the way on pragmatic solutions, stuff that is going to work based on solid experience. I look forward to talking to you at IBC.
Yep, see you there. Thanks, Dick.
Thanks, Lewis.